Hey everyone, welcome to The Missing Truth. I'm Elijah, and today we're covering the case that has haunted the true crime community for years, the disappearance of Maura Murray. This case is full of twists, unanswered questions, and eerie coincidences. It is one of those cases that sticks out to you because even with all those theories, no one really knows what happened. Maura was a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. She vanished on February 9, 2004, after a car incident in a remote area of New Hampshire. What makes this case so compelling isn't just the disappearance itself, it's the events leading up to it and the many theories that have emerged since. The sources for today's episode are The Sun, The Charlie Project, Maura Murray Official Missing Persons Site, Oxygen's The Disappearance of Maura Murray, True Crime Society, Boston Globe Archives, and the James Reynolds blog. So let's start about talking about Maura's background. Maura Murray was born on May 4th, 1982 in Hampshire, Massachusetts. She grew up in a big family with 4 siblings. Maura was a high achiever. She excelled in sports, particularly cross country, and she was known for her dedication and discipline. Her academic performance was just as impressive, earning her acceptance into the prestigious United States Military Academy at West Point. At West Point, she studied chemical engineering, but things took a turn when she was caught shoplifting makeup from a store on campus. This incident resulted in Maura leaving West Point during her second year. While the shoplifting charge might seem minor, it likely had a big impact on Maura's life at the time. She returned home and enrolled in the University of Massachusetts Amherst to study nursing, and it seemed like she was rebuilding her life. Now let's fast forward to February 2004. At first glance, everything in Maura's life seemed to be normal, but when you dig deeper, there were signs that she might have been under a lot of stress. Just a few days before her disappearance, Maura had a breakdown while working at her campus security night shift. Around 10:30 p.m., she received a call that reportedly left her visibly upset. Her supervisor sent her home early, but we still don't know who was on the other end of that call. The following day, February 7th, Maura's father, Fred Murry, drove to Amherst to visit her. They went car shopping together, as Maura's car, a black 1996 Saturn, was unreliable. Later, they had dinner with a friend. That evening, Maura borrowed her father's new car, to attend the dorm party. On her way back, she crashed the car into a guardrail, causing about $10,000 in damage. Fred was understandably upset, but reassured Maura that it would be okay. The next day, he rented the car and returned to Connecticut, leaving Maura to sort out the insurance. Now, here's where things get a little strange. On February 9th, Maura emailed her professors and her work supervisor saying there had been a death in the family and she needed to take the week off. But there was no death in her family. Why would she lie about something like that? After sending those emails, Maura withdrew almost all the money from her bank account, about $280. Then she stopped off at a liquor store and purchased a variety of alcohol, including vodka and a box of wine. She packed some of her belongings, including clothing, toiletries, and school books, and packed them into her car. Maura also printed out directions to Burlington, Vermont, and looked up lodging options in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It is clear she was planning to go somewhere, but the destination remains a mystery. At 7:27 p.m. that evening, Maura's car was found crashed into a snowbank on Route 112 in Woodsville, New Hampshire. A bus driver named Butch Atwood, who lived nearby, saw the car and stopped to help. According to Butch, Maura seemed shaken but declined his help, saying she had already called for roadside assistance. However, phone records later showed no such call was made. Less than 10 minutes after Butch drove home and dialed 911, police arrived at the scene, but Maura was gone. Her car was locked and most of her belongings, including alcohol, were still inside. However, her wallet, debit card, credit cards, and cell phone were missing. There were footprints leading away from the car, but they disappeared after a short distance. Theories about what happened to Maura began to circulate almost immediately. Some believe she was picked up by a passing driver and met with foul play. Others think she might have wandered into the woods either to escape because she was disorientated and succumb to the freezing temperatures. And then there's the possibility that Maura planned her disappearance. Her actions in the days leading up to February 9th, lying about her family death, withdrawing money, packing her car, suggest she might have been trying to leave her life behind. But if that's the case, where did she go? And why hasn't she reached out to her family in all these years? In the years following her disappearance, Maura's case has taken on a life of its own. It's been the subject of countless forums, podcasts, and documentaries. Her family has never given up searching for her. Her father, Fred Murry, has been particularly vocal, criticising the initial police response and advocating for continued investigation. In 2024, new documents revealed that Maura had been struggling with personal issues before the disappearance. Her sister Julie believes that Maura likely accepted a ride from someone after the crash and was abducted. Another chilling detail emerged when a local man handed Fred a rusty knife, claiming it was used by his brother to kill Maura. DNA testing on the knife has been inconclusive, leaving more questions than answers. Even now, 20 years later, the disappearance of Maura Murray remains one of the most crazy mysteries in true crime. Was it foul play, an accidental death, or did Maura choose to vanish, leaving her old life behind? That's it for today's case. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to see you back on another episode of The Missing Truth.